want to say welcome to the broadcast again tonight. I hope you've been listening all week long. We've had some great interviews from our Trailblazer ministry, Sunday school ministry, greeting ministry, and tonight we have our Second Chance Thrift Shop ministry here, and we're just thankful. And Pastor E teaching on Wednesday night was wonderful. We want to say that we got some announcements to make. Don't forget Sunday we are having our drive-in parking lot praise. We want you to come, try to arrive at 10:30, park where the ushers and the parking lot attendants tell you to, and so that we can get everybody in, and then we'll be having church from 11 to 12. We ask everybody to stay in the car as much as possible, and we'll be able to have church. Also, as soon as that is over, we are having a leadership meeting. All the leaders, we've contacted them, but let you know, we will be having a meeting after service on Sunday, so help stay around, tear everything down, and we'll be providing food for that also. And if you didn't get the text, that's for the core leadership. Please let us know if you're going to be able to make it. We got some t-shirts for sale right now. I Am Revival and Racism is a Sin. They're $10 a piece, and all of it goes to our capital stewardship program. We're trying to pay off this building. We got a big announcement on Sunday morning, this Sunday, about our building, so we're excited about that also. And we're getting it paid off, hopefully by October, so we can have a revival and a note-burning service here at the church. Also, I want to say that Sister Robin's been making aprons. From what I understand, she's made close to $1,200 on the aprons so far. It's been a wonderful fundraiser, but she can do your favorite basketball team, football team. They're reversible also. If you want those licensed merchandise, they're $30. If they're just regular print, they're $20. She's done some camo ones that looked real nice. And then the kids are $10, but you need to let us know. And if you would like either of those items, you can message right on here on Facebook and do that. Also, we want to remind you that even though the church doors are closed for mass gatherings, we're still doing ministry. This week we fed over 400 people. The total was over 400 people, and 130 some families was the final count. And then yesterday we done 5 more, and I think today we done 8 or 9 more. So we've been feeding, and there's a lot of ministry we're doing. So if you're able to continue your giving, we greatly appreciate it. You can do on text to give. It's 216-925-GIVE. That's 216-925-GIVE, or you can go to aspinwallchurch.com, and there's an online giving button right there. And your faithful support is the reason that we can do so much ministry here at the church. Also, I want to remind you that we are going to be having some devotionals next week with some special guests. We'll let you know about some information about that, and we are excited. And then tomorrow we're having a devotional with me and Sister Angie. So we're thankful that you tuned in. We want to let you know during this broadcast, if you have any questions, just write in your questions in the message board there on the side, and we'll be sure to ask the questions. If you want to know anything about this ministry, or you have a question for Brother Jeff or Sister Teri, make them hard so to have to make them think. But if you have any questions or you want to know some information, write in. We'll ask them at the end of the broadcast, all right? So share this if you can on Facebook, and then this will be on YouTube tomorrow. It always is a day behind, but it'll be on our YouTube page at Aspinwall Church. We're the only Aspinwall Church on YouTube, so you can go on there. So this is Brother Jeff, and this is Sister Teri. They are over our Second Chance Thrift Store. They do a wonderful ministry. It is very labor intense, but we're thankful that we were able to do that and have the space to do that, and it's a blessing to our community. So we'll start with Brother Jeff. We'll put the pressure on him first. But we always, in these interviews, find out our leaders, how they first come to Aspinwall Church and what brought you here to the church. And we'll start off with you, and then I'll go to Sister Teri. So what brought you to Aspinwall Church? How'd you end up here?
I ended up here as an invitation from Sister Teri, actually. We were working together at the time, and obviously I was going through some times in my life and kind of a bad stage, a bad period of time, and she invited me here I have to tell you that the very first thing that came off my lips is why, because I live probably 30 miles from here, and I would never go 30 miles to go to a church in my whole life. Never did. It was always 1 mile this way or that way, depending on which church I wanted to go to. But she invited me, and I came and found that the preaching is good, the teaching is great, the preaching is great too. But I have to tell you, the only reason I came back is because of what the church does for the community and for the people. I mean, that was really, and I remember saying that time and time again. I've never been to a place that it's not speaking the word or saying the word or hearing the word. It's living the word and doing what God wants you to do and do the things. So that's what brought me back, and that's what brought me. She invited me. The rest is history.
All right, so you come, excuse me, you came because of the minute, well, you was invited, of course, but you come because of what we do. That's awesome. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Sister Teri, how did you start first coming to Aspinwall Church?
Well, actually, I used to ride the bus when I was a kid. We moved over to Cleveland from Carmel Heights when my dad remarried, and my stepmom knew of the bus ministry. She had always sent, her kids on the bus, and so I started riding the bus. So I did that through, as I was growing up, and then I kind of got away from the church a little bit after that. And then once I had my daughter, and I was looking for, a place to put her in school, I brought her back to the school here, and then started coming back to church here.
That's cool. So you was telling me that Brother
Gore and Brother McGinnis.
Brother Gore and Brother McGinnis was the ones that were the ones that brought you here. So, okay, so that's pretty cool. So bus ministry had a big part of that, and people doing that. That's cool. So you guys are involved in a ministry called the Second Chance Thrift Shop or Thrift Store. So, Jeff, you want to tell us what it is and what exactly what is the Second Chance Thrift
Sure.
Store?
Well, actually, the name we struggled with the name. It was Teri's initial idea, and what it is today. We can talk about how we got there, but what it is today is basically giving a second chance to the things that we have there to be reused. We're big repurposers. We throw nothing away. We're maybe hoarders, but organized hoarding. But so everything there, we want to give the things a second chance. And then we were throwing these things away historically because it's part of our hobby. But Teri's like, why are we doing this? The people in the community where we have our church, a lot of them don't have a couch to sit on, a chair to sit at, clothes, pots, pans, dishes, and that was the stuff that truly we would get, and we'll talk about how we get it, but we would get it, we'd sort through it, take the stuff that we like for our hoarding, and that would get into the back of my truck and go to the dump. And it's not bad stuff, it's good stuff. It's just like, why would you do that? She's like, the people in our community could use this. So then actually a couple times, we would come to the church in the back of my truck and drive down the street and hand it out. And it just went away. I mean, everybody took it. So then we came and approached you because we knew we had the space next door. It wasn't quite utilized what the original intent was. And you said, well, sure, we could set something up there. And so then we thought, okay, so that's great. We get a second chance for the items, but it's really a second chance for the people in the community now, because we want to use this to bring people to the Lord. And so that's, the closer they are to the church, the better chance to keep pulling them a little closer. And again, doing what I've seen here, you're not preaching the word, you're living the word. You're telling people this is what we're about, this is what we do. So our prices are super cheap. But again, we got to instill some of our own values in this. I think we both have the value. If I give it to you, you don't respect it as much. My parents did that with me. They didn't give me a bicycle, I had to buy it. And then I washed it every day and took care of it. And that's what I did, right? So the same thing here. If I sell you a set of dishes for $5, there's a likelihood that you're gonna take care of them, not just throw them away because it was out of my pocket. So that's what it is. We have all these items for cheap price, but we want to reuse the item, but we also want to bring people closer to the church. And this was our vision.
One time I was visiting right up the road here a while back, and I walked into a house of a family that just moved in there, and for furniture, I don't know if you guys remember this, but for furniture, they were using car seats,
Yep.
remember, out of a van. And so then I called Jeff and Teri. I said, hey, this is unacceptable, let's do something. And we done it. So even though we do have a thrift shop, if somebody's house is burned down or something happens, we're able to help them also. So it's been a blessing. So they was doing ministry before it was ever ministry, I guess, so to speak. Always helping. And I know that been many times that Sister Teri and Brother Jeff brought Christmas to kids that didn't have it and surprised them, and it's just always been great. So Teri, you want to explain to us how you guys do this? How do you get the stuff? Does somebody just call and say, hey, I got something in my basement that's mildewed and not used and I don't want it no more?
No, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that.
Right, because a lot of times, like even when we do the container, and I'll get into that here in a little bit too with this, but when we do the container, everybody wants to give us everything, so they don't have to not just throw it away, but it's truly trash. I mean, we don't want trash. We want stuff we can use. But so how do you guys get the stuff? You want to explain that a little bit?
Sure. Initially, we started a hobby, my husband and my son-in-law, whereas they would buy abandoned storage units, and again, they would take certain items that they felt were valuable or they could keep for themselves or ourselves, and then are the ones that we would sell. And then all the rest of the items were just going to go to the dump, and we said there's no way we're going to do that. So probably 99% of the items in the store come from us buying the storage unit, going through it, cleaning it up as much as we can. We bring it to the church here. We sort it. We kind of have an idea now of what sells and what doesn't sell, what the market is in this area. Put some low prices on them. And at this point, we have a lot of people who do donate stuff to the store, so that's kind of been something that's been great. Some people bring the stuff in, other people will call us and say, hey, like tomorrow morning, we have somebody whose mother passed away. They have a house load of furniture, so we're going to go pick that up and make it available to our community here. And like you said, we do sell them for a low price, but we also help people out if there's a need and somebody cannot pay. We're not going to not provide it to them. And the idea is, our mission statement is to connect, our community to Christ. We say one soul at a time, one soul of a shoe, but just being kind to people and helping them out, and hopefully they'll see something that they like, and it'll attract them to come to the church here.
So like in the wintertime, even when we have the feeding program over there, we give out groceries, we give out winter jackets, shoes. I mean, it's just a huge blessing. We got so much stuff. Every time I go over there, it started out with like one area, and then it went to another area. And so I told Sister Angie, if they start coming into our big dining room area, I'm calling hoarders, and we're going to have a show with that. But you want to add anything to how you guys do it, Jeff?
So I just have to say, so we do. So it was a hobby, and it still is a hobby. I like things. I like antiques. That's my gig. And Ian likes toys. That's our son-in-law, who's my partner in this. So he likes toys. I like antiques, which neither of those things are what are going to sell over here.
Right.
So we buy these storage units. It's kind of crazy because depends on anywhere between he's going up to $900 on one. But 90% of this stuff ends up over here.
Right.
Because it's just those little items every here and there, that I want to keep or he wants to keep. So it's kind of fun. And it's good stuff. Again, it's amazing what people will put in storage. Now, I do have to say that there's a lot of times we get them, and it just goes right to the dump.
Right.
I mean, so if it's garbage, it's garbage.
So it's not like Storage Warriors where you find $20,000 in a box every time, like the TV
We haven't
show.
found $20,000 yet. But we did find a couple, maybe dimes or quarters.
Right.
But yeah, it's also very amazing what people will store.
Right.
I mean, I would think I would have thrown that away, magazines or whatever, so.
I do have to add, a lot of the stuff most people would look at, and they would be like, dumpster over this way, and Jeff will jump in there and he'll scrub these things for 30 minutes of his time or more,
Oh, yeah.
and bring them back to life, and they're amazing, they look brand new.
Right.
And it makes us proud to be able to give those items to people, really nice items that, again, they maybe didn't look that way when we first got them, but,
It's kind of a testimony, really, what the Lord does for us. I mean,
It is.
we
Yeah.
have so much stuff that this world's added on to us,
Throw away.
and everybody else would say throw them away, but we have testimony after testimony of second chances of all kinds of stuff, Lord. And then He repurposes us and
Right.
uses us for,
cleans us up.
for the best purpose
Yeah.
that He can. So, if somebody wanted to help or get involved, or when do you guys open? Let's see, we can do that.
Okay.
When do you open, and when you do open, how can they help you? And then you can talk about, you found out we had a basement and it's full too now. And, oh, wait a minute.
I still got a couple thousand square feet to fill down.
That's right. I'm glad we can use it. We don't use it for nothing else. So, but anyway, so do you want to explain to us just how we?
Do you want to give the hours first
Yeah,
of all?
give the hours and the days we do it.
So we're open the first and the third Saturday of every month. We say we started out at 12 to 5, but basically we tell people, if you see our car or a truck outside there, knock on the door, come on in, because we do have a lot of early birds. Our regular customers come in at that time. We're shifting it more to 11 to 4, kind of seems to be a better time frame for us. And then we're there. It depends, it varies how often we're there. We'll be there tomorrow unloading stuff. We might be there another day during the week cleaning stuff up. So people want to help. We always need people to sort through clothes, which our volunteers love that, because then they get first pick of what they want, and they get some
Right.
really, really nice stuff there. But we usually just put you on our list, and we text it, hey, I'm going to be here this day if anybody wants to come and help, whoever's available. And then people show up and help that way.
You guys are over there all the time. I see your guys' car over there quite often.
Well, the thing is, we get a number, there's been what I really have to say this, at first we were a little uncomfortable taking things, as you said, from people. Because people will say, or they'll start dropping off garbage. But I have to say that since the beginning of this, we are getting more and more people reaching out to us, contacting us. And all you do is you talk to so many people. I have people that my brother does work for. They're millionaires. They call me once a month. Right now I just got 2 brand new shredders. I mean, they're nice. And the guy he was a multi-millionaire businessman. He's like, I'm retired now. You want them? But so it's like they'll just tell me to come and pick it up. And I have no problem picking it up. I can throw it in the back of my truck or back in my trailer, and it can stay there until I make my next trip. But that's been kind of a neat thing, and I think how people can help is, if they know of somebody who has something halfway decent. Again, I don't mind fixing up certain things, fixing up a table, putting some screws in it and stuff, which I do. But when it gets tore or nasty and stained, I don't want to get into that. But we definitely could use help sorting. That's a big one. Cleaning stuff up. Not everybody likes to spend a half an hour cleaning up a blender like I will do. But they're good. So.
Well, another thing is not only does it bless our community here, but we pack barrels with clothes that we send over to our mission. We pack dishes in them. We pack whatever we have. And not only that, you never know from week to week what's going to be there, so it ain't always the same stuff. So, like, you don't come one time and that's all it's ever going to be.
Right.
So you're continually getting a lot of different things. So another question is so you guys, the money that you get and you raise, what does that money go towards?
I keep it all. No. Actually, we initially intended it for CSP.
Right.
It can go wherever the church wants it, but we have not tapped into that at all. I mean, we did in the beginning to pay for the shelf.
Right.
And once we get the shelving, then the rest just comes here.
So you go pick everything up, you give all the items to it. The only thing the church provides is the space and the utilities for it. And then what you make off of it, even though it's a blessing, you give to pay for the building that it's in, that we're using for it. So that's awesome. So for you that are wondering, even if you don't want to make a donation of materials, but you want to make a donation of offering, some people say, well, I don't have nothing to give, but I'll give to support it. That could be a great thing. You can just let us know, and we'll let them know and what they want to use it for. More shelving or more whatever, it could be a big blessing to somebody. So don't just throw away your stuff, especially if you got some good stuff. Please help us out with that. So they do all of this ministry for the thrift store to, who would have ever thought we would have, like I never thought when we was building this building we're going to have a thrift store in the front, but our people love it. Our people love to work there. Like I know Sister Trish and Marquita and I don't know if I name
Brother
people.
Ron's there always.
Ron loves it. I think Robin loves it as much as Ron does because it gets him out.
Gets him out of the house.
Brother Knox.
I always feel bad though because
Bev.
a lot of stuff we take in and out, these furniture, you know, it's like poor Ron and it stuff's like 180 pounds and I've got this guy carrying it. It's like
Ron loves being there and talking with people. So I mean, it's a great thing. Another thing that we'll talk about just for a few minutes as you're getting some questions in here. I was trying to see, I had a couple things here. But Brother Jeff also is kind of like maintenance around the church too. He helps us out tremendously. We was talking about it before we come on, that how the first thing I asked him to do was this drum cage thing that we made up here. And then it went from a simple little
coat rack
drum cage to a coat rack. And then it went from a coat rack to a stage. Then to one Sunday I said, hey Jeff, do you think that you can lay carpet? And so he looked it up and we was laying carpet, and then it went from that to a spiral staircase. Then it went from crosses onto the walls. Then it went from a pulpit that we have, a communion table, the railings on the side, and then it went from the stained glass window that I sent them 4 hours out to go get out of an old dilapidated church, which was pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
By the way, that was. Hey,
it's always been a fun
I forgot to
experience.
tell you this. We'll go on, but I was going to tell you this the other day. Is we were getting bids to tear it down, and the city come and asked us if we would sell it to them. The township, the church.
For the cemetery?
Yeah, and so they're going to tear it down and use it for parking for the cemetery.
Nice.
Wow.
So they're going to
Win-win.
Yeah, so it worked out great. So they don't, and they said they was going to go through and get some stuff out. But anyway, so it went from that to all kinds of little odds and ends that we've asked, and it's been a great help. And I know he's a perfectionist, so I learned not to say nothing, just watch and hand him stuff. He works better by himself, actually.
I have to say that you're the visionary, so you could come up with the ideas, and I don't.
And you
mind
draw
doing
them up and put them on paper.
I
for
put them
me.
on paper, but first you come up with the way it works.
So I'll say, hey Jeff, I want this pulpit, and he'll say, okay, and I'll say, I want 4 pillars, I want tile around it, I want plexiglass on it, and then I want it to be this big. And he's like, wow, I thought like a little pulpit, now we're making like a huge stage. But communion table, yeah, so it's most of the time. And so even like with the addition we're going to do, I got an architect drawing it up, but me and Jeff's kind of went over it, and he's going to draw some stuff up. We're going to get, but anyways, it's just been a tremendous blessing. And Sister Teri with our mission work. See, that's what I was trying to explain with our other earlier on when we first start these interviews, is that when we have leaders in the church, we have leaders that already do work. We don't get them to be leaders to do work. We get leaders that are already working and say, hey, you're doing pretty good at this. Why don't you head this up? Also with our mission work of loading the container, I just can't express how much of a blessing. Brother Ron, every time I go eat, he'll say, man, our church is really doing good. Brother Jeff is really good at what he does, ain't he? And Pastor E always says that our church has been tremendously blessed by this couple, and I really thank God for that. Before we take any questions, anything else you want to add?
I have two things. Well, I just want to give her credit because she's another thing that kind of got me. You're the Christmas lady. It's with the Christmas gifts and always doing the shopping. Because
Yeah. We mentioned that last night too. We talked about your Christmas gifts that you do.
well, she has your skill. She loves to shop.
Okay.
And so if you just give her a bit of money, she'll go and figure out how to spend it.
Right.
A little
So,
bit. No, no,
so,
no.
so
Give her a
that's
lot of
that's
money.
another thing that she does, which I.
No, a little bit.
But the other thing I was thinking that this is something I did want to get across today when you were asking what people could do to help with the thrift store. You're okay at this, and I'm not good at this. But if anybody wants to come and we can bring them in, and the thrift store brings people in, but talking to the people and really
Just fellowship with them.
maybe a more of a formal invitation, or just to try to get them from there to here, because
Cheryl does a really
they're coming
nice
that
job
far,
at
huh?
Cheryl does a really nice job at
Right,
that. She
right, but
comes
I
every
mean, the
single
more
time
people
we're
that
open.
can do that, because
Right.
people, we have a lot of people that are coming as regulars, and but just maybe just that little nudge they need, from somebody else that's better than at it.
For
than
the
I am.
people to reach out to them while they're
Yeah,
shopping.
yeah, I'll hold them there, you can throw the hook.
I've had more people call the church like, I know, can't we just do under 10 people in the thrift shop? Like this week, I had somebody call and they was like wanting to come to the thrift shop, a member of our church. I won't mention her name. And then I said, well, we're not open until the 1st of May. And I said, I'm gonna talk to them about the first Saturday in May. And she was like, man, that is so disappointing. She just tore up that we didn't have
Open
it.
up.
Yeah.
But we also want people to know, we're in the area frequently. We do live about 30 miles from here, but
I drive by periodically from work.
you drive by all the time. If somebody needs something, or, they have an emergency, or they have to get in and it's, 2 weeks away or something like that, just to let us know. We're happy to come,
Right.
and to do that.
And if you guys can't come, I can go over and help them out if they need.
Yeah.
And if anybody's really good with the internet, as far as like
Yeah,
putting stuff
put 'em
out
online,
there.
especially the day we are, like on Facebook and all.
Yeah,
that.
because one thing we found, our busiest days that we had is when I took Teri and we went from like up by McDonald's and all that and passed out flyers.
Mhm.
And people took these flyers and they were there that same day. So,
Yeah.
just trying to get the word out there that we are here, because it's not well advertised, obviously, it's word of mouth, but there's more people out there, because there are a lot of people coming and going into this community that wouldn't know.
Right.
So,
And you have a high turnover here, so you have people that move in. I think they say that the average turnover here is a year and 2 months or something, the most of people. So you have people that maybe shop for a while and we don't see them no more, and we can be
so
a
that's
blessing.
good for us, though, there's always fresh people coming in
Right.
the community.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. You got some questions for us?
Yes, so, the question is, Jeff, when you pick up heavy items, do you have help? If not, when and where can volunteers get involved?
Volunteers to pick up the heavy stuff?
Yeah. They're trying to say Terry don't have muscles. So.
Oh my gosh, she is truly a strong woman, but, yeah, I usually do get help if it's something big and heavy. So a lot of times I get the people there that are either donating it with me. I have dollies. Tomorrow, I got my brother-in-law who's gonna be with me. So yeah, we usually have help, but if somebody was interested, if they wanna just let me know they're interested, and I'm more than happy to, I'll put you in my phone and I'll give you a buzz, hey, if you're available tomorrow. I usually find somebody, but, if somebody wants to.
So if they want to help, you can message on the board here, and then Brother Jeff can don't put your number on there, we can message you and then get it. And then that way, if he does have something in the area that he needs help with, that'd be great. Okay, got another one?
Somebody was asking, Don Matthews is looking for household items, washer, dryer, fridge, stove.
Okay.
Do you have anything available?
I have a gas stove right now.
Nice
Really
one.
nice one.
It's a
yeah.
very nice
And the
gas
microwave?
stove. The microwave, it says sold on it.
Oh, you sold.
We curb shop that nice.
It was
Yeah.
and just so you know, it's white. It's a gas stove. It's a slide in the counter, but it's a one-piece unit with the stove
Beautiful.
underneath.
Yeah.
But it has no back. It goes all the way, the counter goes all the way around it. It's very nice. The couple who put it out to the curb shop in my neighborhood wanted all stainless steel. And this thing was perfect, and it has a brand new microwave. Unfortunately, I think someone bought that. But refrigerator, not yet. What was the other items?
Washer, dryer,
Washer,
refrigerator stuff.
Washer, dryer?
Washer, dryer, yeah, I don't think so, not now, but.
But
We
they can
might-
keep their eye open, they get stuff all the time.
But we do have a list, that Terry keeps on the desk that, you know, just put your name, number, and, you got washers, dryers there?
Okay,
2?
good job.
We might have some washers and dryers. We also, because of our storage unit, we have a warehouse, which is not my warehouse, it's our son-in-law's warehouse, but we do keep some of the bigger stuff there, so if, you know, obviously I don't wanna didn't wanna take up too much of your thing, plus I don't wanna carry stuff into the basement and back
Right.
up, especially if it's a washer or dryer. But we do have access to certain things, so we can check on that washer dryer too.
Okay,
Somebody texted me and wanted to know how long you guys been doing this.
It was a year in January. We started January.
Yeah, for the thrift store,
Yeah. Thrift store,
Yeah.
so that's been.
It's probably 6 months
Collecting
before
junk?
they get ready.
Yeah,
Now, if you wanna know
well,
how
the
long
work
I've been-
you had to do to get it ready was
Yeah.
enormous,
It was
really, I
nuts.
mean, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how much work they were doing over there.
But collecting junk, I have to be honest with you, I've been collecting junk myself since I was probably about 7. I used to dig into we had an old farm by my house, and I used to dig up bottles, and I still have them to this day. So if anybody wants any old garbagey bottles, I'm the guy.
So he's been preparing for this job for 60 years now.
That's right.
Right, wow.
do I have to go to Aspinwall Church to help, to be a volunteer?
No. We got people that don't go to our church.
Oh,
that
do you
come
mean
over
like
and
be a
help.
member? Oh, absolutely not, no. We actually have some people that come and help that are not members currently, but I think it's their opportunity to come and spend some time, and again, that's where having those people that are a little bit good with the, you know, ministry and kind of like bringing them closer to God while they're there, using that as an avenue.
And then, is there an age limit, young or old, to volunteers?
No, I don't think so.
But you don't wanna babysit.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking those exact words, but I didn't want to say it.
And that don't mean just being a baby either, that's adults too, you don't wanna babysit.
Just don't be
We're gonna
don't be
babysit,
dropping
right?
off your 6-year-old to say they're gonna help you the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
the kids have been, you know, when they.
Maya
get
loves
involved-
it, that's one of
Yeah,
her
she-
favorite things.
And they are our succession plan. These kids, I'm telling every one of them.
she's a hoarder.
Listen, you're gonna.
That's why.
She's one of my best customers too.
Yeah, I know, God help us.
I'm like, your
She
parents
always
don't care
knows
that you're
that.
taking all
This
this
summer,
stuff,
she'll have a
take
new
it.
friend over there, Otis, you
Oh,
know.
oh.
Yeah.
We got a watchdog, don't mess with
That's
us.
Put my mouse
right.
traps up. But, no, we take all kind of volunteers, because everybody has something that they do well. Even if somebody doesn't do well walking and lifting and all that kind of stuff, we've had a couple, little kids that like to come in and mess with us a little bit, so they could sit at the front door and greet
Right.
people. I mean, we
Yeah.
need all kinds of help, and, absolutely. The pay's not good, but, you know, we'll take you.
We might give you a free T-shirt or something, you know,
Yeah.
great dungarees.
Some dungarees.
Dawn says, hi Terry and Jeff, you're doing a great job. Second chances, I love Second Chance Thrift. I love repurposing the toys and items for my daycare kids.
Well, we really appreciate you. Yeah, she's been one of our best customers also, and she got us looking out for toys. I think she's the only one that buys toys from us, so we appreciate that.
Awesome. We good? All right. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget that we are, Marvin says he loves collecting junk
Yeah.
too. I just seen that. Don't forget that tomorrow night we'll be doing a devotional from my house, me and Sister Angie will, and all the things we got going, but make sure leaders to stay around Sunday at Parking Lot Church after church, and we'll be providing dinner, and we will practice social distancing. But we want you to come. If you're coming to church, 10:30. Church will start at 11. I'm going to be preaching. We got the best praise team ever. They're going to be singing, and we'll get you out of here by 12 o'clock. If you want to come and you don't have a ride, you can let us know. Brian is driving the van. And also invite somebody. Tell them to drive, come, and enjoy the service. It'll be a wonderful thing, and you will be truly blessed by that. So thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for your giving during this time. And it's been a blessing to our church so that we can be a blessing to others. So we hope you join us tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for our devotional time. God bless you is my prayer.